Hello, and welcome to this information session about graduate study abroad programs for 2019. We have two awesome programs to share with you today. My name is Erin Kehoe. I'm the study abroad coordinator here on campus. And we may have met before at orientation or a couple of different events around campus. If we haven't met before, I'm excited to have the chance to speak with you today about two chances for you to travel as part of your graduate studies here at LIM College. So I'm going to start by talking about both programs. We have a program in London and one in Guatemala this coming year that are open to our graduate students. And then I'll move into speaking a little bit about finances, health and safety, the application requirements and process. And then, of course, it says time for questions at the end, but since this is an asynchronous presentation, I won't be able to answer your questions as you're watching. But if you do have questions, I will give you my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to help by email, phone, or by setting up a time to meet in person to discuss. So without further ado, I will start by speaking about our Grad Studies Abroad London program, which is brand new and really exciting. First and foremost, we are partnering with the London College of Fashion to offer this program. We have a long-standing partnership with LCF through our undergraduate exchanges, and we've hosted some of their graduate students for short-term programs here on campus before. So we figured it was time to send some of our students to spend some time with them. So LCF is located in London, of course. They're part of the larger University of the Arts London university system. And of course, as you can tell by the name, they specialize in fashion programs. They're a really highly rated school, even internationally. And so it's pretty exciting to have the opportunity to have some of their faculty and administrators work together with us on this program. So this is a short-term study abroad program. It's a total of 6 days and 5 nights long, including travel. We travel as a group for our short-term program, so we fly together, we stay in the same hotels together, and this group will be accompanied by LIM faculty and staff members, so students and staff together. This program is just open to graduate students, so it will only be graduate participants, but we are hoping to have a combination of both on-campus on-ground students and online students. And of course, the program is based in London in the United Kingdom. So this is a rough itinerary this early in the game because right now we're still, about 5 months out from the program itself. There is always the possibility that things could change or evolve, but right now this is our plan. On March 8th, we will meet as a group and depart from a New York City area airport together. On March 9th, we will arrive in London. There will be a guided walking fashion tour of London and a visit to the Design Museum to kick off our visit. On March 10th, we will have a full-day guided tour of the city, including visits to the Christian Dior Designer of Dreams exhibit at the Victoria and Albert. We'll also visit the Brick Lane Market and the Tower of London. And then on March 11th and 12th, we will have full days at the London College of Fashion. So these are the days that will be organized by LCF staff and faculty. And what we expect that they will organize for us will include things like faculty lecture, guest speakers, and/or industry visits. Because that's something that's being organized directly by LCF, and again, because it is still relatively early in the game, they're not able quite yet to confirm with us what the itinerary will be on both of those days. But given the quality of the quality of the school and the fact that we have this close partnership with them, I'm really excited to see what they put together for us. And then on March 13th, our group will return to the US. So the cost of this program is $2,150. That does include round-trip airfare from New York to the UK, housing and shared rooms at a hostel in central London for the duration of the program, cultural and business visits that we complete as part of the program, breakfast every day, 1 lunch, and 2 dinners. There is a payment plan, so you don't need to put down the full cost of the program up front. The dates and amounts of that program are listed on the application form itself, which you can find on the website. And there are a couple of additional costs on top of that program fee to consider. So if you don't yet have a passport, you would need to get one. All students are required to have international health insurance while they're abroad through one of our programs. So if your current plan doesn't cover you already while you're overseas, you would need to acquire that. For a program of this length, you'd be looking at a cost of probably between $10 and $15 for that insurance. You'd be responsible for any meals that are not included in your program fee, and then any shopping that you do decide to do. So that's our London program. The other program that we're running is also in March 2019, and it's a service learning program in Guatemala. So for this program, we partner with a not-for-profit organization called Mercado Global. They're based both in Brooklyn and in Guatemala, and they work with local women artisans in Guatemala to produce handbags and other goods that Mercado Global then sells on the international fashion market. So the proceeds from the goods that are produced go back to those women artisans, and it really makes an impact on the women, their families, and their communities. On top of this economic partnership between local artisans and Mercado, Mercado also provides educational programming to the communities that they work with, so health education, financial literacy, things along those lines, as well as microloans for purchasing equipment and materials, so that the artisans can also work on projects in their own time when they're not working with Mercado. So for this program, we're looking at 8 days and 7 nights, including travel. So it's a little bit longer than the London program. We travel as a group again, accompanied by an LIM faculty member. And for the majority of the program, we're based in Panajachel, which is a small town on Lake Atitlan. And you can see from the image there, it's quite beautiful. So for this program, we would meet on March 10th as a group. We depart from a New York City area airport, arrive in Guatemala on that same day, and then spend 1 night at a hotel outside the airport. On March 11th, we would have a welcome day in Antigua, which is a city. It's a short drive away from the airport. It's a colonial city, so it has a long history. It's quite beautiful, and we typically do a walking tour there. So it's a great introduction to the history and culture of the country before we dive into the main part of our program. Between March 10th and 15th, our group will stay in Panajachel. We will have different programming on those various days to learn more about Mercado's model. We will have a chance to meet the production and design teams at Mercado. We'll also have the chance to meet with some of the local artisans that Mercado partners with, observe their techniques, learn more about their weaving and how they actually make the products, and as well as their history, the history of their communities, the history of their partnership with Mercado Global, and kind of what their perspective on this process is. We'll also have some visits to different towns and communities around Lake Atitlan, so some shorter trips outside of Panajachel. And then finally, we'll ask the group to do a short presentation to some of Mercado's staff and partner artisans, because as fashion students studying at a school that's based in New York, you really have a perspective and an expertise that is valuable to this organization and the people that they work with. So that's part of our group of travelers giving back through this program is that presentation. On March 16th, our group would depart Panajachel and spend 1 night again at a hotel outside the airport, and then on March 17th, we would return to the US. This program has a total cost of $3,500. This includes round-trip airfare from New York to Guatemala, all in-country transportation, housing at local hotels for the duration of the program, the cultural and business visits that we do as part of the program, and most of your meals. The only meals that are not included in that program fee are 2 dinners and 1 breakfast. Again, there's a program payment plan for the program fee, and the dates and amounts are listed on the application form. The additional costs for this program, again, similar to the London program, would be passport if you don't yet have one, international health insurance if your current plan doesn't cover you, those 3 meals that are not covered in the program fee, and then any shopping that you'd like to do. And again, there are estimates for what we think you'll spend on these things on the college's website. So now some general logistical information that applies to both programs. Health and safety. So of course, health and safety is something that's really central to our planning process when we are developing new programs and reviewing existing programs that have run before. For the London program, London is a big city. It has a similar level of safety as that of New York. So we advise students to use the same skills that they would use in any other big city around the world to stay safe, be smart, be prepared, but really there's no extra risk that, again, is not similar to what you would find in New York. As far as Guatemala goes, we purposely keep our itinerary in really safe parts of the country that are well traveled by other tourists. And in those locations, tourism is really valued by local people because it's something that brings in extra financial support and economic resources. So tourists are really valued. And speaking as someone who traveled with the group to Guatemala this past year, it really, in both Antigua and in Panajachel, it feels very safe. And again, just as safe as walking down Fifth Avenue. In both cases, the close partnerships that we have in each country mean that we have access to expert resources that we use both while we're planning our program and should there be an emergency while one of our groups is abroad. That means that we have people on the ground in addition to the faculty and staff that are traveling with you that can assist us if we need to get a student to a hospital, for example, or if there is a natural disaster, or if there is some sort of security event that impacts our group. We have good backup there. We have some additional resources in place as well to keep our students safe. Like I mentioned, all students are required to have health insurance for the duration of their time abroad. All of our student travelers also receive an international SOS membership free of charge. This is a service that the college subscribes to and pays a membership fee to, and then students get the benefits completely free. You can use International SOS both before you travel and while you're abroad for any health and safety questions, concerns, assistance. And if you're accepted to the program, we'll talk quite a bit more about what those resources are and how you can best make use of them. Our faculty leaders are all briefed on emergency scenarios and processes before they travel, so they're well prepared. And then finally, all of our student travelers are also prepared at a mandatory pre-departure orientation that we have before our group travels. So we'll talk about health, safety, and security there. We'll also talk about very practical things like packing tips, money, electronics, phones, all those good things. The requirements to go abroad are that you be in good academic and financial standing, so no academic or financial holds in your SONUS account, no academic probation or anything along those lines. And you do need to maintain full-time student status from the time of your application through the program end. The exception to this would be if your program finishes before the study abroad program begins. You are still eligible to apply to participate. If you have any questions about that or if you're eligible or not, please just let me know. And of course, you do need to be currently matriculated at LIM this fall 2018 semester in order to apply now. The application itself, again, can be found on the website. It is an application form that you'll download and complete. You'll also write a short essay, and there are some instructions on the application itself on what I'm looking for on that front. Once you submit your application, I'll email you to set up a time to do a short interview as well. And so because there are limited spots available in both programs, we do that because we want to make sure that all of our students have a positive experience. I don't think that every single person can get up close and personal with the things that we're seeing while we're traveling if we have a group of 50 students, for example. So that's the reason why we have an application process and why we limit the number of spots available. And when I'm looking at each applicant, I'm looking at the quality of your essay, the professionalism of the interview that you do, and if you do currently have an LIM GPA, I'll also be looking at your GPA. When you do submit your application, I ask that you also submit a $375 deposit to Student Financial Services. You can either do so by going to their office in person. They're located at the Townhouse building on the 3rd floor. You can pay either by cash or check, or you can pay online using the normal online payment link that you'd use for any of your other payments. If you have any questions about that or aren't sure how to submit your payment, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to give you some more information on that. If you are accepted to the program, that initial deposit of $375 goes towards your program fee. If you're not accepted to the program, it gets refunded to you. So either way, you keep it in a sense. It's not something that's in addition to your program fee. The deadline for both March 2019 programs, both London and Guatemala, is Monday, October 1st. Again, like I've mentioned, the application is available on the website under the respective programs. As you'll see, there's a graduate-specific application, so just make sure that you are choosing the correct one when you do go to download it. Please submit your application digitally to me at studyabroad@limcollege.edu. You can attach the application form, the essay that you write, and then I ask for an unofficial copy of your transcript from SONUS as well, all to the same email. And once you've made your deposit, please make sure to send a photo of your receipt or confirmation email to me so that I can confirm your deposit, and also so that I can check in with Student Financial Services and make sure that they're applying that payment correctly to your account. So if you haven't been to our website before, this is what it looks like. If you Google LIM College Study Abroad, we're the first result that comes up, so very easy to find. You can also go to the main LIM College website and search Study Abroad. Again, we're the first result that comes up. As you see, you'll see if you scroll down a little bit, there's a box for England and a box for Guatemala. So if you click on either one of those, you'll come to the sections that are about these two particular programs. So just to kind of wrap things up, after speaking about some of the requirements to go overseas, I definitely recognize that it is something that is something that requires resources from student participants. It requires your time, your energy, your attention, your money. So it is really important to think about, why you're interested in this experience. What are you hoping to get out of it? Some of the things that past students have expressed to me when they return from participating in one of our programs is that it's a strong experience for their resume. So it's something that you can speak about in an interview setting, especially participating in a program like either of these, which are directly related to potentially your career aspirations. If you're interested in an area of the industry that has an international side, and these days that's pretty much every part of the industry, having a study abroad experience on your resume that's directly related to fashion and business is something that's really important. It also gives you the chance to make connections with partners abroad. So whether you're traveling to Guatemala and meeting Mercado Global staff, or whether you're going to London and getting to interact with some of the faculty and staff at London College of Fashion, you're making connections abroad, you're broadening your network. In the case of Mercado, we have had students who participated in the program get an internship as a result of their participation. So, that can be something that can have really positive repercussions down the road. Of course, study abroad gives you the chance to experience a new country and culture, whether you've traveled abroad before or not. Getting to see how another country lives, works, has fun, is something that's really, it's a really profound experience. It gives you a new perspective on your own country. Finally, study abroad gives you the chance to become a more independent person. I think the process of preparing to go overseas and then actually traveling, putting yourself into a situation where you might be in a brand new city with a group of people that you don't really know, experiencing new things that you've never experienced before. It's something that really changes people in a deep way. And then finally, you'll also have the opportunity to travel with a great group of fellow travelers. No matter which program you travel on, you'll be having some really interesting experiences with fellow students and faculty who are also interested in the same things that you're interested in. And it's one thing that students say when they come back that they feel like they've made connections with fellow students that they'll bring with them for years to come. So as promised, here is my contact information. You can always email me at erin.kehoe, that's Erin with 2 N's, at limcollege.edu. Again, like I mentioned, if I can help by email, that's awesome. If we need to schedule a time to speak either by phone or in person, I'm also more than happy to do that. If you are interested in applying, please just make sure that you are getting your application in by the October 1st deadline. And again, happy to help with any questions that you might have before then. Looking forward to reviewing your application soon.